Hello, beautiful Earth, with all the human beings. I would like to talk about enjoying and staying in the moment. And by this topic, it is pretty broad, because we do have, in this now, we do have our eye. Our senses, for example, are made for the eye, so that we can explore everything around us. Every beautiful thing that's around us. And we can observe and see things working directly from our senses, directly here and now. And we can also observe a tree, and then we can use our inner world, our inner faculties, like thinking, feeling, and willing, to contemplate the tree, to give it life, to observe its slow growth, the processes of how it ebbs away and sprouts out again each year, and how it, in the process in between, to feel the life of the tree. And maybe get a little feeling to how much it has gone through to become that big tree. That is how you can use the moment, for example. You can also contemplate yourself, your inner world, your feelings here and now. How do you feel here and now? Very often it is pretty uncomfortable to sit completely still and use your will to more or less not let the moment be boring. The whole moment is divine, and the more we become aware to it and everything that is happening here, the more fully you can live. Of course, building character requires a little discipline and a little willpower. Take as an example, to learn from the past, to learn from many of our mistakes and errors. We would have to go in the now still. You're still conscious here and now. You go back to different memories. Take forth these memories and see what we did wrong here. What can we improve upon? What should we avoid doing so that we can be a better self? That we can also do in the moment. We can also stay conscious while we have clairvoyance or dreaming, in a sense, where we can imagine and be creative and visualize aspirations, future goals, and even past death and so on. There is countless things to do here in the now. And that is why here and now is to be enjoyed, is to be woken up to, that we don't need to hide behind ourselves, our masks, our roles, our identification with anything. We are here and now, and we are streaming out to the world. And how we ourselves perceive ourselves and the world is up to each and every one individual, one of us, to find out. What is the truth? What is the beauty, but also the sorrows of the world? What can we do better? We need to start with ourselves. We need to have, or we don't need to do anything, as I have said earlier, but we should build a moral and ethic foundation where you feel pain when you see unrighteousness, unethical and unmoral actions done to someone or something else. Or you feel pleasure and joy when you see love given freely, with no agendas attached to it. with no feeling that now you owe me. To be human being, to share with our whole soul. There is a whole lot of mysteries to the human being. And to start with, we do have our thinking, feeling, and willing. And all those three faculties are spiritual faculties that only human beings can consciously, with our eye, with our ego, contemplate our feeling and willing. We can contemplate our thinking even. And they are spiritual beings. We are using spiritual beings to think. They give us thought in our eye, and they work with us. And we can choose to work with many different kinds of beings in this way. Even on feelings also are alive, living beings that comes and goes, ups and downs in our body, based on how we allow ourselves to experience these things. How conscious are we to it? How stable can we stay in this? There is always a danger, not a danger, but it is always a risk that you get dragged away by your thoughts or your feelings. And that is why willpower and discipline to stay here in the now is important. Because here and now you can study anything, everything, and right up wrongs and do what we humans feel is required of us to grow. Everything is growing and changing and becoming a little different each day, each moment, and each year. Then why should we human beings stand still? We think that technology is what reflects our evolution, but it is we human beings, our body, our intelligence, our consciousness, our feelings, emotions, our faculties in general are sprouting and blooming. But we have to allow this and use our will to let this happen by focusing on the right things in life. And that should be loving, that should come from the heart. Even discipline and strictness should be from the heart. It should be lovingly. It should always be compassionately. It should never come from a strict, cold stone place. It should come from living, loving discipline. That means we always have room to do errors and forgive ourselves for them. As long as they are not too so severe that we won't forgive ourselves for it. Then we have another problem we need to solve, right? Of course, most of the time we keep away from those kinds of experiences. They are not cool. They take time to heal, and they take a lot of time in our mind. That is why it is important to get to know ourselves and what we are capable of, and so we can control and guide ourselves better, to become better teachers for ourselves. We can become our greatest guide by following the moral and ethical in our consciousness that is of the divine, that is of spirit, of soul, of emotion and love. And still there is so much to learn, so much to put in place, so much to study and have fun with, and to always wake up to and know that I can still grow and still have room to make a difference, day by day, moment by moment. I can excuse myself and say, no, I can take it easy today, and then it is easier to do it next time. It is comfortable. But by always staying awake and alert, you will always gain something from the moment. You are always feeling abundant and rich, because since everything comes from the divine, from the physical, from the little physical to the most sublime divine, are still the divine. So everything coming towards us are spirit, are beautiful, are something to take up, spiritualize, having an enjoyment for it. Because in the moment we really, really can feel who we are. Is it something we try to run away from? Is it something we have as a creative spark, maybe? That is why I do what I do. All of a sudden I feel a creative inspiration and I have to put out a video. And I feel more people can gain from it. But I'm not expecting people to follow me. I expect people to become awake to their own beautiful world of senses, cognition and consciousness, feelings and will. When you become aware of it, the world can become more apparent and it shows itself more and more, its beauty to you. And less you need physical objects as you own, as you buy, consumables to feel happy. But you always, even in the darkest moments, even in our more weak moments, we can still gain beauty out of it. Because as I often say, the dark moments, the things we are healing and such, are the manure for our spiritual plants that is blooming. And this spiritual plant, all our pains and struggles that we have to have become a character, a human being, an understanding, compassionate, empathic human being. That is perfect manure, perfect for the flower to grow. As long as you do not become cold and rock. And since I've gone through so much, I lock myself behind myself to never feel that again. But then you don't have the experience in the moment anymore. You are completely on a deserted island. But you want to be here in this beautiful moment where everything happens. Thank you, everyone. May the divine blessing guide everyone to find out what they are good at, what they want, what they burn for, have a passion for, and use that for the betterment of all, to understand the world and us human beings. Love you all. Goodbye.